say and I say it again, you've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok.
Man, I feel like I've been tricked. You know, growing up, I hated that dude MLK. In school, they only showed us pictures of him and his followers getting stomped on, getting milk poured on their faces at the restaurants, pushing for integration so they could go ahead and stay up under white people. At least that's what I thought. That's what America sold to me as a kid. On the other hand, I used to love Malcolm X. I thought he was the exact opposite of Martin Luther King. From what I was taught, Malcolm X was the by any means necessary type of radical. The type that said we should not be passive aggressive, but we should instead just depend on ourselves, do for self, and defend yourself against any threat. That's a message I could definitely get behind as a kid. For a long time, I actually thought that Martin Luther King set us back as black people. I figured under segregation, at least black people had their own businesses. We had the Negro Leagues, we had our own hotels, we had our own restaurants, we had our own busing companies, cab companies, you name it. Under integration, you'd be hard pressed to find a black owned business like a black owned hotel or the equivalent of the Negro Leagues. Now, granted, the players now today in the integrated systems of NFL, MLB, the athletes are getting paid way more money, but the athletes have no ownership in the league itself. Whereas in the Negro Leagues, black people own the entire organization and we had the best players. So for a long time, I really did hold that against Martin Luther King, not really understanding the whole story. Because the only thing I was taught, the only thing I was ever told about was Martin Luther King, I have a dream that we can one day be judged by not by the color of our skin, but the content of our heart. And that's a wonderful dream, but that has nothing to do with economics. Notice everything I said about the Negro Leagues, that's economics. Everything about integration, they only show the social side of integration. But they never talk about Martin Luther King on the economic side. Then I got to thinking, if all he's doing is marching, how did he get so much done? Because we're marching today and we can't seem to get anything done. Then I found this clip.
We don't have to argue with anybody. We don't have to curse and go around acting bad with our words. We don't need any bricks and bottles. We don't need any Molotov cocktails. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country and say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. And we come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you are not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. So as a result of this, we're asking you tonight to go out and tell your neighbors not to buy Coca-Cola in Memphis.
If you notice, Martin Luther King is known for his peaceful protests. And since Martin Luther King's death, black people continue to do what? Peacefully protest. America, and people in general, really don't emphasize the fact that Martin Luther King was pushing the boycotts. Some people know about his Alabama bus boycotts, but they really don't emphasize that as much as they do his I Have a Dream speech and his nonviolent sit-ins. I think that's a big problem. I mean, think about black people today. Black people today can't boycott anything. They don't have the discipline. The fact that black people back in the 60s had the discipline to follow Martin Luther King's leadership and listen when he told them to boycott, they did it. That took a lot of power. And that power that he wielded was able to make a change for the country for the better. Today, all our boycotts are complete failures. Remember we were supposed to boycott the NFL when Colin Kaepernick was taking his knee? What happened to that? It barely lasted a season. People were right back watching TV, watching the NFL. We were supposed to boycott Gucci when they had the blackface. Rappers went right back to buying Gucci. Remember we were supposed to boycott H&M because they had the kid, like the coolest kid in the monkey, coolest monkey in the zoo, something like that. We're supposed to boycott H&M. Yeah, okay. Don't even get me started on the hair salons. We were supposed to be boycotting the Asian hair salons because the owners, the racist Asian owners, kept beating up black women in the Asian hair salons. Did you see the video where the black man was outside trying to protest and boycott the Asian hair salon? And the black woman came and beat him up for boycotting? Check this out.
We standing for the black woman. Look, we don't want you to stop our sisters. That's right. We stood up. We stood for your nation.
Yep. This is kind of like high protesters, and we're outnumbered.
Yeah. I don't want you to hit a black woman. That's why I'm here.
Okay, but you let that black woman take my motherfucking shit.
No, we didn't try to take your phone. Sister,
Did you not?
sister, you should not be over there.
Did you not? I walked my ass to the motherfucker. Did you not? Show me right over there. He said
You was wrong. You was wrong. You was wrong. You was wrong.
Man, it's straight embarrassing. You can't make this stuff up. It's like Martin Luther King has showed us that our strongest tactic for moving forward is the boycott. But the way that America has packaged it, they push him and they present him as some kind of non-violent figure instead of showing the actual tactic of boycotting. They show him as non-violent. Let's just sit here and get beat up and wait until some other white people feel bad enough for us to help us out. But that's not the way that people should be packaging or presenting Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was the king of boycotts. And if the black community could learn to flex that muscle, we could forget cripple the United States. I mean, this is 2021. The United States is already on its last leg. But imagine the demands we could make if we had the discipline and the unity to completely go through with one strong boycott. Imagine boycotting Christmas, boycotting Black Friday. The demands you could get for the next year if you could show that you were willing to do that as a community. You're talking about reparations. You're talking about some stimulus, some real stimulus money then. But we have to come back to the boycott. Right now, police brutality is still a big issue. I mean, marching is not going to solve our problems. Martin Luther King was right about the nonviolent approach, but the nonviolent approach isn't marching. The nonviolent approach is boycotting. Well, hey, if you got any value from this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you've seen more than one video on my page, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get a reminder every time I drop a new video. I usually release videos on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and one or two throughout the week if I have time. Peace, because that's what I think.